Breaking inputs coming our way, where we have a major disaster which was averted at the Delhi airport, where Swiss flight SWR 146 bound for Zurich from Delhi aborted its takeoff due to an engine failure. Smoke was observed billowing from the left side of the aircraft, and reports of a fire near the landing gear on the right side were received, prompting the immediate declaration of a full emergency. As a result of this incident, runway 28 at the Delhi airport remained closed for a considerable period. All the passengers on board the aircraft were safely evacuated using emergency slides, and the flight was carrying a total of 232 passengers and 13 crew members. However, there are also reports that 4 passengers sustained injuries during the emergency evacuation. They are currently undergoing treatment. So this is the latest that we are getting for you, in fact, from the national capital, where we are learning that a major event was in fact averted over here, where a Swiss air flight which was bound for Zurich from Delhi aborted its takeoff due to an engine failure. Now remember that all the passengers are safe. There have been some injuries that have however been reported during the emergency evacuation, but fortunately everyone, including the crew members, everyone is safe. And we are also getting to know that this particular runway 28 at the Delhi airport had remained closed for a considerable period after this incident happened. Let me go across to my colleague Yash Ahuja, who has more information on this front. Yash, what more details could you share with us on this?
Yes, Shivani, you know, a major aviation disaster was narrowly averted at Delhi's Indira Gandhi International Airport late last night after Swiss International Airlines flight bound for Zurich was forced to abort its takeoff due to sudden engine failure. Visuals on our screens right now. On the left you can see fire officials dousing the engine fire, and on the right you can see passengers being evacuated from the said malfunctioned airplane. Now let's have more information about the airplane. The Swiss air flight numbered SWR 146 had just begun its takeoff roll on runway 28 when the crew detected a critical engine malfunction. You know, they saw thick smoke billowing from left side of the aircraft, while reports also emerged of fire near the landing gear on the right side. The pilots immediately rejected the takeoff, bringing the plane to a rapid halt. A full emergency was declared at the Indira Gandhi International Airport. Fire engines, fire tenders, emergency response teams rushed to the scene, and the aircraft, carrying a total of 232 passengers and 13 crew members, was quickly brought to a stop on the runway.
Right.
You know, back to you.
Right. In fact, also joining us on the broadcast is Mr. Sanjay Lazar, who is an aviation expert. Thank you so much, Mr. Lazar, for taking out your time and for speaking to Newsx. Good morning to you. But we are learning of this major event that could have taken place at the Delhi airport. A Swiss air flight stopped, from taking off due to an engine failure. There was reportedly smoke that was observed coming out from the left side of the aircraft. If you can share with the viewers any more details that you can talk us through what may have happened in this kind of an incident, sir.
Yes, thank you for having me. This happened more than a couple of hours ago. This was Swiss International flight. A takeoff roll, which is, when they start up to take off on the runway itself, the main runway. Apparently engine number 1 failed during takeoff roll, and obviously there was some smoke or some kind of disturbance there. The aircraft was already very advanced in takeoff, and it was an aborted takeoff. So because of the failure of the engine and the smoke that was detected, captain obviously aborted the takeoff, and slides were deployed. This is for the evacuation which was ordered, and the passengers evacuated safely. I believe 2 or 3 passengers were injured. That is in the process of the evacuation itself from the slides. We're happy that there were no major incidences or injuries, etc., to passengers. This was a near miss. Literally, when you look at the videos that are posted on social media over the last couple of hours, you can see that it was quite a hairy incident, and glad to see that the emergency services at Delhi Airport reached the aircraft very quickly and took care of the situation. We can see videos of the firemen and everything. So this was a failure on takeoff roll.
All right. Thank you so much, sir, for taking out your time with your valuable perspective on this issue. With that, we are taking a short commercial. We'll be right back.